I see countless videos of people trying to be their best selves, trying to be successful, trying to, just try to make ends meet. But very rarely do I see people make content specifically for people who have traumas. So I decided I would compile this video. I remember some people would tell me a while back that they really admire my mentality and that they wish that they could be as optimistic as me. But it wasn't always the case. This video is not generalizing anything. If you suffer with traumas, then please understand that this video is not going to quote unquote cure it, but it's going to teach you how to navigate through life with it. When you have traumas, they affect a lot of things. They affect how you sleep, how you dress, how you talk, and most importantly, how you think as well. So, if you are someone who is always critical, it probably stems from a childhood where you were always thought critically of, or something triggered it, right? But here's the thing, we can't always entertain these thoughts forever. So let me tell you, as someone who has my fair share of traumas, okay? First of all, you have to acknowledge that something is wrong. And you have to do it as such where it doesn't sound like you are dismissing it per se. You have to acknowledge that there is a problem. You have to acknowledge that, okay, something is not right. And when you have that realization, you're a step closer to solving it. And I'm going to hold your hand because this is really important. Trauma is something that's a very sensitive topic. Just hearing it sometimes can bring back really, really unkind memories. But the most important thing we have to realize is we can't entertain this forever, okay? As painful as it may be, we have to move on in life. And here's the thing, right? I'll give you an example. Anxiety is a big thing that a lot of us live with, and we just have to work with it, okay? So I have very bad anxiety, but I still have to function. So when I make videos, when I decide to work, when I do whatever, I have to live with the anxiety. I don't let it define me and make me freeze up and say, I can't do this. Because life doesn't work that way. It's the same with our traumas. And I'm not saying that, oh, you just have to live with it. You have to learn how to navigate through with it. And that's exactly why it's important. Having a constructive mentality is not adding sugar on top of your suffering. That is toxic and that is not going to serve you. If anything, that's going to make you feel worse. You have to understand the actual roots of your problem. Why does it exist? What triggered it? If you don't know, that's completely valid. It's fine. Sometimes there are things I don't even know why I feel a certain way over. But then you have to realize, okay, this makes me feel a certain way. What can I therefore take from this? For example, loneliness is a huge trigger for many people. You have to learn how to be fine by being by yourself. And if you're feeling lonely and you can't be with people naturally, then you have to find comfort in being by yourself. And you're not going to say, oh, I love being by myself. It's not going to work overnight. You have to start changing what you do. What do you want to do with other people? Maybe try it with yourself. Maybe the things you want to hear from other people, say it to yourself. It's going to sound crazy as hell at first. It might even disgust you. It might even feel like, what am I even doing? But that's how you learn. Because if you are not used to hearing it from yourself, it's going to feel even stranger when you hear it from someone else. Do you ever notice that if someone compliments you, it feels off? That's because you're not used to it. So if you start complimenting yourself, others reflect that energy. You understand what I'm saying? And it really does suck. It stings a lot, okay? Especially for people who have much more severe conditions. Nothing's impossible, okay? But you can't make excuses forever. If something doesn't work out your way, you have to find ways to make it work out, okay? It's like if life is not good for you, are you just gonna complain and say, oh, life sucks, life. No. Yeah, okay, it can suck. How do you make it better? That's what people need to get. And it's not, okay, I'm gonna make it better overnight. It's you making long-term decisions consciously. Is you telling yourself it sucks, but I want to make it suck less. It's not you saying, okay, it sucks and I'm gonna make it so much better now. No, it's you being realistic, like being effing for real with yourself. Because that's what people just don't get. Okay? This isn't something that you just randomly decide, oh yeah, I'm just gonna improve, I'm just gonna be happy. It doesn't work like that. If it was so simple, if it was really that simple, guess what? We would have all been happy by now. Let's say that you're trying to apply for a job, okay, and you don't get it. The constructive mentality is this is redirection. Maybe something better is destined for me. A destructive mentality is, oh no, no one likes me, no one wants to be around me. Oh, I can see why they said no. Don't dwell on that. Constructive is not telling you, oh, it's fine, I'll just laugh it off. No. Constructive mentalities, they differ from person to person. Now, let me explain something, okay? Constructive and destructive mentalities work differently for different types of people. I'll be honest. So, for me, I can't go around cooing myself. I can't go around saying, oh, it's okay, I'll just redirect, I'll just feel redirection. No. I am critical. I'm more critical with myself and optimistic. Some people like to be just super sweet with themselves, and it's completely up to you. So you can either say something along the lines of, oh, it's redirection, it's okay, I'll find a way. Or instead, you can just say what I do, this sucks, but doesn't mean it's the only fish in the sea. I can always find something else. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why I mention it being different is because I don't want anyone to script anything. Everything you want to say to yourself is genuine. It helps you build steps towards being the version of you want to be. So that's why I say when you watch my videos, don't take 100% of what I say. Only take what resonates because not everyone will relate. And I don't want anyone to idolize me. I don't want anyone to quote unquote want to be me. I'm figuring out life just as much as you. You might be thinking, maybe that's not true. There is something I'm struggling with that you could be smooth with, something you're smooth with that I'm struggling with. You never know what's going on behind the scenes, but everyone has something that's happening. Like I have this unicorn in my way. Hello. I don't know where I'm going. Wow, fun. This is so cool though. Look at this background. I just think that too many of us are focused on, perfectionism. That's what society has taught us. Society has given us the impression that if you don't get something, what's the word? In your first try, in your blah blah blah, it just sucks. It means, oh, what's the point of doing this? No, people don't teach you that success is a long-term game. It's a journey. It's a self-exploration journey. So when you're trying to be constructive with yourself, you have to think about your wins. And I know this sucks, but listen to me, okay? You can't always be your worst enemy. You have to be an ally to yourself. You don't have to be a best friend if you're not one already, but be a freaking ally, okay? Don't be your worst enemy. If you're your worst enemy, you're going to slow things down and make things bad ultimately. Instead, tell yourself something like a caring friend or an ally. Because if you're in a team, you would be honest with your team. You'd tell them, hey, you kind of suck at this. I'm joking. You would say it in a much nicer way. You lack in this field, but I believe that if you add so and so, it'll be better. Critique everything, but not in the way that you think. Not like, oh, am I doing this right? Am I doing this right? No. It's you understanding that when it comes to doing things, you don't need it to be perfect. If anything, don't wish for that because it's never guaranteed. Because if you're not perfect the second time and you are the first, it will sting. It will make you feel like, oh, I can't do it anymore. That's how people get ridiculously high standards. And I fell into that boat before as well. The amount of times I've done things on my first attempt and absolutely slayed it, absolutely killed it, only to realize in my second attempt I couldn't even do half as well. It's a huge slap in the face because it gives you this really strong boost and then you're just like, oh crap, this sucks. Responsibility is more personal than it is social. People can definitely impact your decisions. You know what? I'm going to say this while holding people's hands. Your trauma is not your excuse. And I'm saying this to myself as well. Despite what we've been through in our lives, that doesn't always mean we have to be an a-hole. Some people are a-holes naturally to other people because they had a sad backstory. But then there are some people who had a sad backstory, they chose to be nice to people. Do you see how it's down to the individual? It's the same with your life choices and being constructive. If you don't like waking up, do something that will make you excited. If you can't feel excitement, think about what makes you happy. If you can't find it, look for things. Everything requires you to explore. Everything requires you to move. And if you stay stagnant, that creates anxiety. That's how you stay where you are. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want anyone to think I'm necessarily yelling at them because this is a very sensitive topic. Trauma is a very sensitive one. But I want you to know something, okay? Your feelings are valid. Your trauma is valid. And I really do pray from the bottom of my heart that you heal from the things you talk about and from the things you don't talk about. But honey, we have to take accountability. We can't always make excuses. Whether it's with friendships, jobs, relationships, or career paths, anything, right? We can't let it define us forever. It's painful, yes. Sometimes it feels like, what's the point? It doesn't leave us alone, yes. But we have to redefine it, you know? So when I taught myself about friendships, one of the hardest insecurities, and I always mention friendships because it's something very deeply rooted in me. I mentioned to myself in the past, it's my fault. This person doesn't like me. This person isn't doing XYZ with me. It isn't your fault, okay? And with friendships, as I was mentioning, I used to blame myself. I used to think it was me. I was the one who texted. I was the one who wanted to hang out. Yet somehow the blame went on me. And then I realized years later, the other person just didn't want to try. Sometimes it was my fault. Sometimes it's their fault. But it's not about pointing fingers. It's about accountability. And then now my mentality has shifted. I can make mistakes, but I only choose people I value. You know what I'm saying? People who value me will show me that value. I didn't mean to do that. I meant to do this. So yeah. You have to step out of that comfort zone. It's like going from one comfort zone to another. That's how I describe it. So you're in your own bubble. And then what you have to do is leave that bubble to get to a bigger bubble. So you're in a small bubble and then you see a big bubble in front of you. You want to go to it. You know what happens? You leave your current bubble. You're going to feel uncomfortable, like you have no air, because you've always been trapped in a bubble. You've always been safe. And what you have to do is feel a bit of discomfort until you reach that bigger bubble. And then you feel comfort again. And I feel like life has too many of these bubbles. So the most important thing is to keep moving no matter how you feel. You absolutely deserve it. You can change your life. And people navigate through this all the time. Make your dreams come true. Genuinely. Oh, it's a floof. Oh, that's so cute. But yeah. So what you're saying is, I'm going through XYZ, but I choose to love. I choose to heal. That's how it is. Be honest with yourself, but look for solutions. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. And if you can, guys, please support my coffee page. It would mean the world to me. See ya.